It's March 1st, 2022, and this is Sketchworks NewsBrake. The news stops here. I'm Brian Troxell, and the water main to my house sprung a leak last night under the driveway. So I'm unshowered, but not unprofessional. March, of course, is named for Mars, the Roman god of war. And sadly, that's how we start this episode of Sketchworks NewsBrake. A war between Russia and Ukraine has much of the free world on the verge of World War III. And frankly, it's about time because nearly 80 years have passed since World War II. Generation X and the millennials deserve to have their own global conflict that threatens to destroy the free world. Russian President Vladimir Putin pissed off the entire world when he invaded Ukraine. Vlad the Invader, they're calling him. And by they, I mean just Babs. I haven't heard anyone else actually calling him that. To show their utmost unity and support for Ukraine, cities across Europe lit up their skylines in Ukrainian colors. And Ukrainian cities turned off their lights because they were being bombed. Russia and Putin himself have had severe sanctions levied against them. Billions in assets have been frozen. Travel bans have been enforced. And, most severe of all, the International Judo Federation suspended Putin's honorary status as president. Time to turn in your Keikoji, Putin. FedEx and UPS have suspended package deliveries to Russia and Ukraine due to the war. They say the fighting between the Russian and Ukrainian armies will damage or destroy packages, which they say is their job. President Joe Biden responded with the harshest of economic sanctions, a bad Yelp review. Over the weekend, Germany announced they're sending 1,000 anti-tank weapons and 500 Stinger missiles to Ukraine. Hey, there's a switch! A European conflict where we agree with Germany. Prior to that decision, Germany decided to try and help Ukraine by sending 5,000 helmets. Because surely Russia's tanks will be no match for Ukraine's bicycle brigade. Yesterday's peace talks ended in a stalemate, as neither side could agree on the dress code. Are we wearing suits? Are we casual? I wish someone would have warned me ahead of time. Don't start dreaming about a chance to reenact the Cold War classic Red Dawn anytime soon. This war may be fought with financial sanctions. Sketchworks NewsBrake correspondent Tim Millard tells us Russia is now cut off from the global banking system known as SWIFT.
Losing SWIFT is arguably one of the worst things that can happen to the Russian government, especially right now. The fact is, much of the free world relies on SWIFT. The United States, Canada, I believe India, China, and of course much of the European Union. The fact is, SWIFT influences what we all do on a day-to-day basis, even if we don't know it. So you can understand why losing SWIFT would be so harmful to Russia. I mean, she is one of the preeminent singer-songwriters of our generation. Her songs about love, losing love, then finding love again are so relatable. Her songs are catchy, and she always makes great headlines in gossip magazines. So losing SWIFT, I don't know what any country would do without SWIFT.
No, not Taylor Swift. That's the wrong Swift.
What do you mean the wrong Swift? Oh, wait a minute. So it's not Taylor Swift. Would you excuse me for just one moment?
Well, to be fair, Ukraine and Russia did break up when the Soviet Union collapsed, so maybe we will get a Taylor Swift song out of this. U.S. climate czar John Kerry said that despite the war, he hoped Putin would stay on track in the fight against climate change. So, backing his climate pledge, Putin promised to compost all dead Ukrainians. You know, in a way, I blame the Russian people for this. They elected an unstable man more concerned about his own fragile ego than in doing what's right. Thankfully, we would never elect such a person. Oh yeah. Right. Well, at least the guy we have now is I got nothing. Speaking of the guy we have now, the Russia-Ukraine crisis will undoubtedly be the number one issue discussed during his State of the Union address this evening. Joe skipped both of his naps today, so he's going to be more ornery than usual. The CDC announced new mask guidelines, saying that the science now shows that most people no longer need to wear masks. The announcement came at 4 o'clock on a Friday during the first war in Europe in 80 years, 3 days before the State of the Union address. You know, that science just has impeccable timing. The CDC also says that unvaccinated people who refuse to wear masks can continue to act like jerks. Staying in health, the FDA last week authorized the first condom marketed specifically for anal sex. The FDA hopes the new condom will help fight the epidemic of teenage butt pregnancy. With the state of the world in such an unfortunate state, we need laughter more than ever. Which is a great segue to the Sketchworks comedy gratuitous plug. The all-female sketch show Heels Up is finally coming to Village Theater in Atlanta for 3 nights. Don't just take my word for it. Watch this. Get your tickets for Heels Up today at sketchworkscomedy.com. Hey, you got funny kids or funny teens? Send them to Sketchworks Comedy's Sketch Comedy Summer Camps. 2 weeks in June, 2 weeks in July at the Village Theater. Go back to sketchworkscomedy.com for more information on those. And don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and click all the buttons to all things Sketchworks Comedy. A study published in the New England Journal of Medicine, or the NEJM, reported a man who came in complaining of difficulty breathing through his right nostril was found to have a tooth growing in his nasal cavity. Doctors removed the tooth, but said that wouldn't have been necessary if the man only remembered to floss. Controversial Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene is defending her decision to speak at the America First Political Action Conference and its audience of white nationalists. She says she just wanted to reach out to people she described as young conservatives who feel cast aside and marginalized by society. That's a funny way of saying, yeah, I spoke to racists, big deal. Actors Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet have decided to call off their divorce and give their marriage another try. Lisa, if you're watching, call me anyway. Well, she's not watching. In Wisconsin, 2 women shot a restaurant worker in the face over a $3 hamburger. But to be fair, it was a really good hamburger. Papa John's founder John Schnatter showed up at this year's Conservative Political Action Conference to complain about being canceled for using racial slurs during a company meeting in 2018. For next year, CPAC plans to have the Noid lead a roundtable discussion about being canceled simply for trying to ruin pizza. Amazon is testing out a program that will give its Alexa device the ability to call a doctor for you. Not to be outdone, Apple is testing out a similar program where Siri will recommend essential oils and other BS remedies for serious health problems. A British plant-based pet food company, which just sounds terrible, is offering to pay dog owners more than $6,000 to feed their food to their dogs and track the smell of their poop. And now it's worse. For $8,000, you can ship the poop back to them so they can use it to make even more dog food. The circle of life. That's all for Sketchworks NewsBrake. We'll be back next week, and we hope you are too. I'm Brian Troxell. Say hi to your mom for me. Come on, call. Call, damn it.
Okay, I got the right Swift. No, don't play the credits. Don't play the credits. He played the credits. Damn it.